everybody, I'm going to go ahead and do the eyeshadow tutorial I put on as a suggestion my story a little bit ago. But this is going to be an in-depth tutorial where I'm going to really kind of just break it down of like blending, how to blend, what am I using, what palette am I using, and really just do a simple natural look for everybody. So this is something good for my beginners that don't really wear any makeup, maybe they want to wear makeup, or even people that, you know, want to critique their own makeup and maybe just step up to that next level. Like I said, we're not going to be doing any like cut crease or anything at this point. I would love to touch on that because it's something really, honestly, I think it's really simple once you actually figure out what you're doing. But we're just going to keep it really natural today, really simple. That way everybody can just follow along at home, and maybe this helps you. And I'm really excited, and hopefully I want to do more videos like this too. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I'm just going to start off talking about brushes I'm going to use really quick. I think anybody people that just don't have a whole lot of brushes, I get it. I was there at some point in my life, and I thought like that was just what was holding me back, but invest in like 3 to 4 good quality brushes. I think some of these ones are going to help just change your whole routine and process of everything, and really just take your time with these brushes. I think that's the biggest part of blending, is just time is key. You know, get in there, really blend seamlessly, and that's how you get these really flawless blown out looks too. But brushes wise, these are some of the ones I'm going to be using today. Again, some of these I could even break this down even smaller, but so this is just going to be my main blending brush. This is a JH32. They sell these individually and like in smaller packages, but even e.l.f. has really good brushes. But this is going to be the main one I'm going to be using just to really blend this out, pack it exactly in the areas too. It's pretty fluffy to use, so it's a flat shader brush. This is going to go ahead, and that way we can kind of really pack the shadow in there too, in the precise area. I would say this one is optional. This is going to be, I like to do like a highlight underneath my brow and inner corner. So it's just a really small brush. This is something probably you could honestly even opt out of too, depending on what you like personally. And then last but not least, just a really big fluffy blending brush to really get in there and just really blend everything seamlessly. This is one that will just kind of keep no product on there, just really go in there and kind of work it out. Using my natural matte palette from Too Faced today. These are just some really natural shades in here too. These ones, I mean, you could probably find in just a lot of just even drugstore high-end, but I do really like this palette. It smells really good, and I just feel like it blends really well too. I do have makeup on like my face, and I do have mascara, so we won't be doing that part, but you know, this is the chance I had to really kind of just jump on camera and kind of talk to you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with my fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this All Natural, and I'm just going to take a little bit, and we'll go ahead and tap it off. And then when we start, we're going to close our eye, and we're just going to kind of, I like to tap a little bit off, and then we're just going to kind of work this into the crease here. Whenever you're starting out, a little bit goes a long way, and we can always add more. If you add too much product from the beginning, it just makes it that much harder to blend it. So a little bit goes a long way, and then I just start to build that. And what you want to do is just kind of like windshield wiper motions. We're being very light on the eye. We're not tugging, we're not pulling. We're being very gentle, and again, just kind of going back in with that shade. Anything of like a kind of like a tan or like orangey are good for crease shades too. And I'm going to pick up some of this hookup too. This is going to give us a little bit more tone in our eyeshadow. So I'm going to go ahead and pack that, and then just continue to work it. Again, a little bit goes a long way, and then we'll just keep blending. This is what we call our transition shade. You'll hear this a lot in any kind of makeup. So we're kind of, you know, we can see the difference a little bit. I don't know how well it's picking up my camera because I'm just filming on my old iPhone. So let's go back in and slowly start working this. And again, I like to go back and forth, picking up the product, blending it in. And I do like, as you're kind of looking, I do sometimes almost like a circular motion, and then I kind of swipe doing my windshield wiper motions and then pulling it into that crease. We want to keep it from out of here, but still really blowing it out. And depending on what kind of shape you want to do, I normally end up doing like a rounded soft edge is what I guess I would call it. And that's just how the end of the eye normally kind of turns out. But just blending. I mean, this is literally what we're doing. Sometimes what we can do is we can hop back into our big fluffy brush. If you're ever getting like an area that's like harsh or anything, because our previous brush, that's gonna have product on there. So we're still dispensing product. We're essentially just moving it around. But if we want to kind of really soften the edge, we'll take that clean blending brush. I'm not putting any product on this. And we'll go in and we'll just go ahead and blend. Blend. Soften out those edges. Do some circular motions on that outer corner. And you can see this is a nice big fluffy brush, so it's gonna go ahead and really get everywhere that we need to. Love it. Good. Okay, so now that we've got a nice transition shade going on here, we can start packing some more color in. So I like to go, I'm gonna go in with this a little bit darker toned. This is just kind of like a brown color. And we're really just on the edge of this brush here. We're gonna be very light here again. Just kind of tapping it in. Anytime that you're doing like a darker shade, you wanna kind of tap it in. And then you'll start to kind of slowly blend it in. And again, we wanna focus this on our outer V. That way we're getting like a nice dimension, and that kind of pulls our whole eye back and making it look like kind of smoky, but yet not like overly done. So I'll keep doing this. Like I said, this is just, it's a lot of time. I mean, it really is. I could probably, like, eyes are my favorite step, and sometimes I just get caught on blending and going back in and softening out all those ledges. So that's what we're working with now. You can kind of stop at whatever your intensity is. If you're someone that doesn't wear a whole lot of makeup, something lighter may be something that you're going to be a little more comfortable with. Obviously me, I wear a decent amount of makeup, so I really like to build out that outer corner to make it pretty dramatic looking. But yet still soft, still, you know, like a nice flirty eye. You can stop at any time with this part, but if you want to keep building, I'm going to take a little bit darker. When you take more colors, it's just like when you're painting, you're adding more dimension into the eyeball. And again, don't be afraid to blend this into almost like the center, a little bit into the center of the eye. See, we're not going like really inside, but we're still kind of keeping on that outer edge. That's just something personally I like to do first. Some people will kind of go, you know, they'll start in the inner corner or later to darker, but a lot of times my darker kind of overpowers my light, so I like to do that like towards the end. So we're blending. You guys get the gist. Also, you can do is, you know, if you want to like blend in that darker color, you can go back to maybe like the lighter color or even a little bit of your transition shade. I'm gonna tap both of them because it's not gonna hurt anything. We can go back in and we can kind of play around with this and just soften that out a little bit more. Honestly, I could probably do a whole eye look with a brush, something like this. It's very versatile, but sometimes, you know, when you just have multiple brushes, you just tend to, you know, grab different ones because it just makes it easier sometimes when you're doing a little bit more precise looks. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done with my outer V, darkening that. I'm gonna go ahead and take my flat shader brush, so it's a lot more dense bristles that are packed together, so you're gonna be able to really kind of press down in that powder and pack it on that desired area. So I'm gonna go ahead and this really pretty color right here, cleavage, I'm gonna go ahead and tap into that a couple of times, and I'm gonna go in and I want to do like a gradient color. Sorry, I'm trying to like look in my mirror, but I want to soften this out a little bit. It's gonna make it a little bit lighter, if you can see that. It's kind of like a muted purple color. And then I want to kind of bring it in a little bit to our darker color. And then I like to hop back in and just blend those. We're gonna marry those babies together. Smush them together. That way it looks very seamless. And don't be afraid, you know, go back in and blend. It's not gonna hurt anything. Makeup is a process. You know, sometimes you do something and you just want to touch it up a little bit more. That's just how it goes. Okay, now that we've kind of started slowly kind of bring that tone down a little bit, this I think was where it changes the game a little bit. So I typically go in with this one. I think it's definitely light enough to kind of bring everything together, but it's not like stark white. So I always like to have like a lighter inner corner. That's just me personally. Everyone's gonna be completely different, but this is just a really simple look. Really simple. So do we see how much that changed it already? I don't know if you can see that, because everything's weirder on this camera, I swear. But I like to build it up a little bit. And again, we're blending it into that other color here. So with this one, I'm not doing a whole lot of like sweeping motions, if you can tell that. I'm just kind of packing it in those areas. And then again, go back in with that blending brush, or you can use that fluffy one too. Nothing's gonna hurt it. And then just do a little sweep over it, lightly together. And again, depending on your how light you like it, I like it really light. As we kind of go in the inner corner, it just brings out, makes it look so much more more awake. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And then don't be afraid. Finger, get in there. Yes, love that. And then I like to I'm gonna take this lightest color here, okay? My small, teeny tiny brush, because I wanna be a little bit more precise. And then we're gonna go in, close the eye a little bit, and this is almost gonna like highlight that inner corner, yet without being super bright. And then just kind of lightly tap, because I wanna blend it in to that other color. And what you can do is you can take that same color, you can go right underneath that brow bone a little bit, just to kind of lighten it up, give a little highlight. You can even do it right here too. Boom. And then lightly tap. Okay, so honestly, you could stop here. I'm really happy with this. I would say all of these steps afterwards are really just your opinion. But I would say I'm not done here. I would like to continue. I'm gonna take my all-time favorite. I was like, went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to use this for this tutorial, but I didn't. But I would like to do a little highlight moment. So I'm gonna take this first shade in the palette, dust that off, and a little highlight. I just love, excuse me, I just love the way that looks. A little bit underneath the brow. Bada bing, bada boom. Like, look at that. This, no makeup or no eye makeup. You can see like how my lid's a little oily right now, but, and then eyeshadow. We ready, girl, we ready. And then I wanted to show you guys, let me grab my other brush. So this is just like a flat top brush. I'm gonna go back into that same shade. And what you can do is you can pick up this color and you can pick up this color. So our transition shade color and that little, our first darker shade. And I really like to do this because I feel like it just pulls everything together. A little bit more dark shade. And we're almost like dotting on that waterline underneath, but very softly. And then I like to kind of almost brush it a little bit. And we want to kind of connect it to that upper lid. So pretty much right now, we're just packing a little bit of color. I like to go back again. These aren't brushes I showed because this is all kind of a little bit extra. But this is just like a smaller tip blending brush for more precise areas. And I like to go in and I'll dust that a little bit in. Blend it, blend it. And I like pretty dramatic, so a little bit darker shade, tap it off right underneath that. Really defined. And sometimes you just have to make those weird faces to get in there. And then I'm going to take my light color and almost like outline that inner corner on the bottom. And I feel like that just changes it so much. But let me know. So here you have it. I am gonna be honest with you, I'm too lazy to do the other eye because I'm about to hop in the shower. So what you see is what you get. But that's just, sometimes life, you just gotta play with some makeup before you get in the shower. Try some new things. That's another perfect thing to do. And if you don't like it, then you just wash it off.